Hello and welcome to one of our question and answer sessions with our Senior Applications Chemist Jonathan and myself, Andrew, Managing Director here. So we're just going to dive into a load of questions that we've got lined up that some people have asked. So let's dive right in. Right, first question. Why has nitrosamine analysis become such a hot topic within the pharmaceutical industry?
NDMA 2019, I think, was the thing that really catapulted it into the news. Certainly became global headline news because ranitidine, which was the most commonly prescribed drug, I believe, in the world, it was an antacid, that had to be withdrawn from global markets. And that was due to NDMA formation.
I think, maybe like I said, I've done a few talks and bits and pieces where I've had this as the intro. I think it was actually a Chinese API manufacturer that got flagged. I think it was one of the sartan products, so one of the heart blood pressure medications was the very first one back in 2018.
I was there in 2016. The thing is nitrosamine's been kicking around from the 1950s.
Yeah. There's certainly something that we see, don't we, in all sorts of industries, brewing, cosmetics, rubber, jewelry products, water, you name it, food, you name it, they're in it. But it's something that hadn't really been flagged as a problem, I guess, in the pharmaceutical industry until this point where we had these series of recalls, didn't we, for a number of quite high-profile drug product lines that made the sort of regulatory bodies sit up and take notice.
I think ranitidine was probably the first one that a lot of people heard about simply because it was so widely prescribed. It was prescribed to me, so you do understand kind of like the human aspect of the impact of some of these chemicals, some of these byproducts in your pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, so it was one of those ones, as I say, it kind of led on to ultimately the regulatory bodies getting involved, and which then led to them requiring that all market authorization holders had to do risk assessments of their entire product lines, which opened up an enormous can of worms as far as the pharmaceutical industry goes, because it initially started off just looking at the sort of small molecule ones that we sort of knew about, and it's subsequently expanded into what they call NDSRIs, nitrosamine drug substance related impurities, which are the ones where there's all these new and different nitrosamines being formed from the active pharmaceutical ingredients themselves. And they're struggling, I think, at the moment to battle with how they handle that, because some of them are conceptual ones almost, where they theoretically could happen, and equally they don't know how toxic they are or how they do that. So there's all sorts of regulations and ongoing discussions and challenges within this.
And it's not just in the formulation stage, obviously, because sartans, one of the modes of manufacture of the sartans uses dimethylformamide and sodium nitrite. However, if the DMF breaks down, it can form DMA, dimethylamine, which can then get nitrosated from the sodium nitrite to form NDMA, N-nitroso dimethylaniline. So, it's not just in that formulation stage, but it's also, the stability testing they can form over time. You've got, as you say, the NDSRIs. So metformin is another one that's starting to rear its head, has got 3 secondary amines, which means that theoretically can be nitrosated in 7 different formats. Have 3 individuals, then pairs of, and then what happens if all 3 are nitrosated? So, how do you make the standards and purify the standards to even study if these are being formed? There's a lot of technical stuff that is really going into nitrosamines at the moment, especially in pharma.
Yeah, I suppose like one of the points is, I don't think we even said it, is the main reason they were concerned is because nitrosamines are sort of mutagenic chemicals. They can in theory, cause cancer in people.
Yep.
So there's no point having your heartburn medication or your blood pressure medication that cures one thing if it's going to give you a nasty cancer on the other end, which is kind of that's the ultimate reason why all of these risk assessments and recalls and everything is happening.
Yep. To keep everyone safe.
Yeah. So that's why it's such a hot topic at the moment. Is they've found out that these things are forming, and you can't really have them in medication.
Nope.
Okay, great. So if you have anything to say about this, then please leave a comment below. Or if you want to find any more about nitrosamine testing, there'll be a link below to some of our nitrosamine resources on our website.